Hey guys, it's Andrea. I just wanted to share a little something with you today. I've been doing a lot of thinking since last week, since this event went on, and it was a great event. It was fantastic. Again, anyone that came out, thank you so much. But what I wanted to share was that, something changed for me at that event, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. And I think I figured out what it was, and I wanted to share it with you. All my life, I've had this terrible, terrible fear of public speaking. In fact, I'm so uncomfortable talking out loud, not even in front of a group like of hundreds of people, just a group of people in general. When I was in college, I used to have these professors that would call on me in class because I never spoke out loud. And I think that they thought that that was weird. And so halfway through discussions, they would just point at me and say, "Well, what do you think about this, Andrea? What do you think?" And every time they did, my mind would go blank. I felt like I was having a panic attack, and I would try to say something, but in mid sentence, I would just stop and stare. And then they would look at me and think, this girl is weird or this is uncomfortable. And then they would get embarrassed or embarrassed for me, and then they'd move on with the discussion. And it got so bad that my senior year of college, I actually went with my dad to a doctor and I asked him to prescribe me, stage fright pills, because my reaction to speaking out loud in front of people was absurd. It was more than just being nervous. It was an irrational fear. And so last week, to get up on stage and to talk in front of, I think that they said 300 people showed up, to me seems insane. To me, it seems like something I would have never have dreamed of doing. And I kept asking myself, like, why did you do that? What was the process of how did I get up on stage? And I realized that, since the moment I got the email telling me about the audition or telling me about the event in general, it was almost like some other part of me kept responding to the email saying, yeah, I'll go to the audition. And then I did the audition, and then they said, guess what, you're in. And I thought, shit, that means I actually have to go do this. And I wanted to back out. That was my initial feeling, was I'm going to email and say, like, I can't, I'm busy that night, whatever. I kept wanting to back away out of fear. But something in me just kept pushing me to do it. And then the night of the event, I stood in the wings and I was really nervous, and I got really, really quiet right before I went on, thinking, please don't let me get out on stage and blank out like all those other times that I've done before when I'm speaking in front of somebody. I was about to go face the number one thing that has petrified me from the time I was little. I hate being on stage. I hate when everyone looks at me, and I'm scared of what I'm saying and scared of how they perceive me. But something was really different about that event. For the first time in my life, I had found something that I cared more about than I cared about myself or how I was going to be perceived. It was more important to me to go talk about love and gratitude and these beautiful concepts and to share them with other people. That was bigger and much more expansive and much more important than just me and what I was scared of how people were going to perceive me. And this is what I realized about last week, and what I wanted to share with you is that there's a difference between fear and love, obviously. We're always going to fear things. But I think that fear is just the shadow side of love. And what I discovered last week was that I had found something that I loved so much that it was stronger than the fear. And it had given me the courage to actually do this and get out on stage. And even the word courage itself, it means heart action. I mean, the Latin root of cor, C-O-U-R, means heart. And A-G-E is action. So when you have courage, it comes from your heart. When you love something so much, that's the only thing that will give you courage to overcome your fears. It's not that the fears go away. They're still there. I mean, my mouth was completely dry. I think my palms were sweaty, and I was probably shaking as I went out on stage. But I loved the event and what it was bringing to the community, and the idea of gratitude and the whole entire experience. I loved it so much that it overcame my fear of wanting to hide and being too scared to do it. And so that's what, I kind of wanted to share with you today is, if you think about the fears in your life, we all have fears, but look into them. What can they show you? What you fear the most is usually what matters most to you. I had always been terrified of using my voice or hearing my own voice speak in front of others. And yet somehow as I've grown older, I realize having a voice, speaking, sharing ideas and concepts, but things that matter to me is so important to me. I mean, even doing this Facebook video is kind of an odd thing for me to just talk and to share my ideas with people, but I want to share them. I care. I love it. And I care about you all. And I want to share these things with you. And so, yeah, my fear showed me, or was a clue to what I actually really loved. That's why I was so scared of it. And the second thing is, the fear never goes away. So all those years, I had always focused on the fear, how scared I was, how nervous I felt, how I was scared of messing up or what I was saying. But I was missing the component of love. I wasn't tied to what I was going to say in class or whenever I was scared to get up in front and talk to people. So focusing on the love and what you want, like that will carry you past the fear, and it'll make you feel brave, and it'll give you the courage to actually stand up and do what you need to do. So look at your fears, look at what they point to in your life that you may actually really be desiring. And then secondarily, don't focus on those fears. Focus on the love that lies behind them. Focus on what you want to share with the world, what you want to give to the world. You have a voice. And whether that's standing up in front of 300 people and talking about gratitude, or, if that's standing up and saying what you need to say in front of somebody, or quitting the job that you want to quit. I mean, you've got a voice. You've got something that you care about, that you love. That's what you're meant to get out into this world. And that's what's going to give you the courage to do it. So focus on that. Don't focus on what you're scared of. Focus on what you love so much, and then go after that. And I promise you, I mean, it was just one event. It was just a 10-minute talk. But to me, it made a world of difference. And I feel like it changed me. And now I'm no longer attached to the identity of, I'm scared to death of public speaking. Yes, I'm still scared of public speaking, but now I know what I want to say. I know that there are things that I want to say, and so that will carry me past that fear. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I hope that it helps, or take of it what you like, and most of all, just look into your heart, find what you love, and put that out in the world, and it will change your life. So happy Tuesday, and I'll see you next week. Bye.